NFC all-time great, Deej?
Yes, for the NFC.
There
So
he
last
is.
week we covered the AFC,
Up,
and we
Jeremy.
had a great time doing that. We had a couple of teams that were unanimous, but outside of that, we had a nice discussion about a lot of those. Ken ran away. So since Ken ran away, let's do the Bears first.
I'm here.
Kidding. I'm kidding. No, we're going to go east to west. So let's start in the NFC East, and let's just start things off with a banger here. The worst team in the history of the NFL. That would be the fighting one. It's not. Remember, folks, it's a rating. It's not a logo. The Dallas Cowboys. Adam, who you got?
Cowboys, 85 Hall of Famers, 78 Rookie of the Year, 6 Pro Bowls, 2 Super Bowls, 1 MVP in that Super Bowl, Roger Staubach.
Very good. That's a very good choice. Marcus, who you got?
So I got a 3-time Super Bowl champ, one time a Super Bowl MVP. He was also a Hall of Famer in college and in the pros. He's won Rookie of the Year, Emmitt Smith.
Thank God.
Rav?
I was like, and if you went the other way.
Rav, who you got?
From Escambia High School, the same high school the Usos played at, Trent Richardson played at. I can let's go on. I've seen their high school and all their big names that played for the Escambia Gators.
And they have
Sorry,
a
I
weird
cut you
stadium.
off.
Sorry, I've been to that stadium. It's a weird stadium.
Me too. It goes in ground. Like, why
Yeah.
does a high school stadium need to go in ground?
Rav?
Bit more stands.
It's pretty close. It's tempting to say. I almost want to say Troy Aikman just to mess with Ken, but I'm not going to do that. I want to say Troy Aikman so bad, but you got to say Emmitt Smith is the greatest of all time. A little bit ahead of Roger Staubach.
They even
Emmitt Smith,
named
great.
that high school stadium in Escambia is named Emmitt Smith Stadium too. Bud.
Yep, my son's
Did
played
you
there.
guys see that? Speaking of like weird stadiums, did you guys see the Nationals minor league team? How they're all on the river. Their stadiums are
yeah.
all on the river.
That would be legit.
Yeah, in
Like,
Harrisburg.
That's wild. Yeah, it's in Harrisburg. Yes.
Yeah. Ken, who you got?
Hey, before I do that, hey JB, your dad's here.
Yeah, my music kind of shot. The soundboard ain't working.
Damn it, we can't do the head shake.
Yeah.
For the Cowgirls, the rating system, I'm gonna go completely off script. I'm gonna go with actually. There he is. I'm gonna go with my favorite Cowboy because there's only one that I actually like. And actually, when I got his helmet, I was like happy I got it. And that would be the future Hall of Famer. He's not in yet. I think he's eligible this year. Jason Witten.
All right.
I go with Ditka, but Ditka's always a bear in my heart. But Witten, and here's the reason for Witten. Like, the dude just like,
Dominated.
yeah. I mean, you knock it, you can hit him so damn hard, the helmet came off, and he's still trucking down the field without a helmet. Right? I mean, the dude just had no stop. He was consistent, dominant, didn't get the love he deserved as a player in this league because there's always bigger personalities around him. But at the end of the day, if there was no Jason Witten, the Cowboys wouldn't have even been a part of any conversation during his playing days. Like he was that glue that made that team work, and he was so dogged and such a good player. So for me, it's Witten.
Josh, who you got?
I got Roger Staubach.
Okay. Jeremy?
It's now been said a second time. It's Roger Staubach.
I went even a little older. Arguably one of the greatest defensive linemen of all time, and definitely the man has the name Mr. Cowboy. That tells you something. Bob Lilly.
Funny story. That's my mother's maiden name.
Bob?
Lily.
Couldn't resist, Jeremy. Sorry.
That was good.
All right. This next one I think is going to be unanimous, but anybody not have the same guy for the Giants?
We'll find out.
Jeremy,
Probably not, brother.
You know,
Jeremy, who you got?
Just because
I got
Muncie 2 Super Bowls. Everybody wants to say it's that guy. I can't. It's LT.
Yeah, that's who I
Lawrence
was thinking.
Taylor.
Rav, who you got, Rav?
LT without the question. Greatest linebacker outside rushing of all time in NFL history. No question.
Yeah, Ken.
Well, I don't know if I agree with the second half of what he said, but all I know is when he signs his helmet, he inscribes one bad motherfucker, LT.
Josh.
I'm gonna go with LT, I guess. I was gonna go with someone else, but I gotta go with the group.
I'm going LT. Adam.
I'm going with that 1999 Hall of Famer as well.
Marcus.
Outbidding. This is going to go across the board. I'm going with the guy who broke Joe Theismann's leg, the guy who beat Bam Bam Bigelow in the main event of WrestleMania 11, even the guy who went spoke at Bobby Boucher's football camp. Well, it was LT's Louisiana Lightning. By the way, that's Ron Guidry's nickname, not Lawrence Taylor. So you get your baseball shit mixed with football. Like he said in that movie, don't smoke crack. Lawrence Taylor. I'm shocked no one said Eli Manning.
I wanted to.
I'm
I wanted
not.
to.
I'm not.
I knew Josh was thinking Eli Manning.
Eli would be his own. Eli would be in a different list. He'd be in the best all-time playoff.
I was waiting for someone to say Strahan. Strahan,
No,
not
or
better than
Tiki
LT.
Barber, or any of them
LT.
guys.
LT.
Lawrence Taylor. Baby.
So now we get into some interesting stuff. How about the Philadelphia Eagles? Let's start that one off. Josh, who you got for the Eagles?
I got Reggie White, but I got an honorable mention to the greatest backup quarterback of all time, Nick Foles.
Okay. Jeremy, who you got?
Greatest backup. He's a dick. I'm going Reggie White.
Ken?
You have to do Reggie White for 2 teams. I could. I mean, it wouldn't be any different than Sweat being the sack leader in 2 teams in 1 year, which he was. But God, how do you not go with the Minister of Defense? You know what, though? God, there have been Reggie White's the obvious one, but if I pick him for that, I can't take him for the Packers. And I think he was even my guy for the Packers. There's Weapon X. He was the heart and soul. McNabb was a heart and soul of Philly for over a decade plus. Never got the love he deserved either. I want to say Reggie White, but he's going to be my pick for the Packers probably because the Packers suck and I hate them. So, I'll have to go with someone they bought in, not that they raised in. God, I'm going to go with McNabb. Fuck it. McNabb is the reason the Philly fans became the Philly fans in the way they were. He was the most underrated quarterback maybe of his time. The guy should have had a ring. He didn't get one. McNabb was tough day in, day out. He put Philly on the map when Philly kind of had fallen off the map and started a winning tradition in Philly. The Minister of Defense, but he's going to be my Packer pick, so I'm going to go with McNabb.
All right, Adam, who you got?
Who do I have? The only guy that when he came back to play against his former team, the whole stadium could wear his jersey, and no matter what, it was okay. Brian Dawkins.
Yeah. Love Dawkins, too.
Okay. Marcus? Yo, Marcus.
Oh, I thought you said mucus. I'm like, who the fuck is mucus? No, I also went. I also went with Donovan McNabb, the guy who should have got him their first Super Bowl and beat Tom Brady, but he came up short.
And he had Terrell Owens on a broken leg who had a
Yeah.
massive game.
I'll never
Broken
forget how
freaking leg.
angry. I'll never forget how pissed I was when Brady won back-to-back for the first time when he beat McNabb. Because I got pissed he beat Jake Delhomme the year before, and then I got even more mad because he beat Donovan McNabb, who was a good quarterback to play with in those Madden games and around. Now, not Madden we had at the time, but a Madden above it or before it, yes.
Nemco.
But Donovan,
Rav?
I still say the uncrowned Super Bowl champion. He should have won the first for the Eagles, not a backup. But hey,
Yeah.
that backup did bring Tom Brady.
Raph, who you got?
Eagles and the Commanders are much tougher than the Giants, I think, as well. Chuck McNarick, I almost wanted to say him. You go really old school, a guy. And Reggie White, I kind of with him. I think of him as a Packer player, so I can't say Reggie White. So I'm gonna say B-Dawk. I would love to watch Brian Dawkins. He was the most complete safety. He was as good. He was a hitter and he was a ball hawk. And he was, to me, the leader of that defense. Those great defenses he had. But
He had
Brian Dawkins was
34 picks and 32 forced fumbles. And
and you say that, I remember the hitting. He would just deplete everybody, man. You got hit by Brian Dawkins, you remember.
I went with Reggie White. Yeah. Dawkins is one of those guys that when you think Eagles, you think Brian Dawkins, you think Reggie White, you think certain guys. That's one of them. Yeah. Okay, well, you just brought it up, Raph, so we'll start with you. The Washington Redskins / Commanders.
This was super hard. I mean,
Yeah.
because they have a lot of really good players and they're really kind of close together. No one guy really sticks out, even when they won world titles. I'm gonna say Darrell Green. I think Darrell Green, is probably not named Deion Sanders or Rod Woodson, the best corner in the history
He
of the
still
league.
has that lightning speed to this day.
He would run past. He's 40 years old. He's winning the fastest player in the league award. Crazy. Darrell Green, I think, was the best corner without the flash and the dash, just consistent, outstanding. Love Darrell Green a little bit over Joe Theismann.
Marcus.
I went with one of Houston's favorite sons in Darrell Green.
Adam.
299 tackles, 12 interceptions, 8 forced fumbles. It's a shame he got shot in his home in Miami, but I went with Sean Taylor.
Yeah, imagine the career that guy would have had.
Mhm.
And then
who you got?
that asshole stepped on his number in Washington. I'm surprised the Washington guy didn't beat the shit out of him.
So there's only
Yeah.
there's one. I just went to the game in Washington last year, and there's one jersey of the non-current guys that you can buy in: jersey, sweatshirt, hoodie, and every other form known to man. I had the man's rookie, his helmet with his rookie number inscribed, and it paid for half of my helmet collection. And I couldn't keep it because it's a holy grail for a Redskin fan, not for me, and that's Sean Taylor. And he is the reason why the Pro Bowl has been forever changed. If everyone remembers that hit.
shot on
Yep.
the kicker, baby.
Yeah.
When he drilled that
Yep.
kicker.
Just drilled him. Love Sean
Yep.
Taylor.
Jeremy, who you got, man?
Sean Taylor.
Josh?
I'm going all with this one. I'm going Sammy Bow.
Ball.
Yeah. I didn't ask his last name.
That's actually a really good poll. Sammy
Swinging
Ball.
Sammy.
Not a bad choice at all. I think he's right at the top.
Top
Uh,
10.
especially in a time frame that nobody threw the ball.
We have another-
I went old
who
school.
just- Hold on, before we jump the next division, Rich, who just jumped in?
Dylan jumped in, but his mic ain't connected,
Oh,
or his
Well-
cam ain't on either, so it won't let me
I
add him.
was,
My dad
Rich,
put
who
a
you got for the
comment.
Redskins?
I was going old school on my Redskins. Nobody wanted to tackle this guy at all.
John Rick.
That bit, you saw that 44 coming up to the line, and people were like, "Oh no, screw this." So I went with John Riggins.
That was my number 2.
Riggs.
Yeah, I like Riggs too.
You know how hard it was
The
for me.
Diesel.
You know how hard it was for me. It was either him. It was either Darrell Green or Doug Williams.
See, I would have Doug Williams more with Tampa than with Washington.
Okay,
I don't have him
'cause-
for Tampa, but
I mean, I would have put him for
we've
Washington.
done the NFC East for people who
We've
are
done
asking.
4
We have
teams.
done the
Yep.
NFC East, so we've done 4 teams. We're going to the NFC North right now.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
NFC North. Let's see. Who do I go first? How about the Minnesota Vikings?
The Vikings.
Yes.
Jeremy, who you
Can I-
got?
Chris Carter. Chris Carter, hands down, the gentleman, the guy that led the wide receiver rookie symposium for years, consummate professional, great guy.
Good deal. Josh.
I'm going with Alan Page.
Good call. I went with to me, the fourth best receiver in the history of football, Randy Moss. Adam, who you got?
I went with the induction guy this year, Jared Allen.
All right, Marcus.
I also went with my all-time favorite receiver growing up, Randy Moss.
Rav.
As tempting as it was to say Randy Moss, I think the best player in the franchise was Fran Tarkenton. I think very, very underrated Fran Tarkenton. Was one of the greatest quarterbacks ever played.
And I did this for a reason. Ken, go ahead.
So you could go with AP, sure. I mean, he was great in Minnesota. You could go with Chris Carter, yeah. You could go with Moss, you know. Moss is good. For me, I'm more of Jared Allen. I just think Jared Allen was Minnesota. When you hear his name, you see the horns. You see the Vikings. He's the only guy who I really – yeah, he at the end of the career, he played for the Bears for like half a season, whatever. Then went off to Carolina, whatever. But Jared Allen just was the Vikings, you know, for many, many years. Fran Tarkenton is also a great pick. But, yeah, you got to go with Allen. There was something about him. He has that X factor that that the other ones maybe didn't have as much of.
Okay, so I'm going to start with him on this one. All right, Ken, go for it. The Bears. I think it's an obvious choice for everybody, but go ahead.
Well, it is. It's Walter, and it's always going to be Walter. And anyone who doesn't say Walter doesn't know ball, right? But no, it's Walter. But there are some guys some good honorable mentions that don't get the love they deserve. Peanut Tillman also changed the game. Ditka changed the game. Devin Hester, oh yeah, also changed the game. But it's Walter. It's Walter today. It's Walter tomorrow. It's Walter when the world ends.
How about Bob Avellini? No?
No.
Well, shit. All right, Jeremy, you're up.
Walter Payton, sweetness. Does he like the
Rav.
game?
Rav.
I'm gonna surprise y'all and say Dick Butkus was better than Walter Payton. I think Dick Butkus was the toughest guy I ever saw. I mean, if you ever met Dick Butkus, like, you would just be pissing your pants talking to him. I mean,
You got to be a badass with that name.
yeah,
Dick
like, yeah.
Butkus.
Not by much,
Going
but
through school?
Butkus a little bit ahead of Walter Payton.
See, that's the problem with the Bears, though, because like, if I were to say defensively, yeah, Butkus would be my defensive guy. Him or Mike Singletary. Because Singletary was just so the eyes, man. Those Singletary eyes, that intensity. I mean, just that the Bears are problematic in a show like this. Put it that way.
Marcus, who you got?
I mean, we're going to go with one of the best who they named an award after in Walter Payton. But I'm going to throw an honorable mention myself. I will throw Brian Urlacher as an honorable mention. And just for the hell of it, if I've met one Chicago Bear in my life, and he's one of those down-to-earth guys who's from my neck of the woods, Matt Forte.
Hey, the man. Love Forte.
Yeah.
He's
Adam.
I had him.
Generous guy. Very generous guy.
Say again, Adam.
I like Matt Forte.
Oh no, it's Cameron
Really?
Smith.
Okay. Shoot. Okay, I went with Walter Payton. I just lost my grid. Josh, who you got?
I got Walter Payton also.
All right. Dylan, who you got for the Bears?
34.
Sweetness. Okay, so that
Enough
was
said right there.
probably-
Awesome.
I went with
kind
Walter
of think the
Payton.
next
I went
one,
with Walter Payton as well.
I think the next one comes down to 2, but this is just me. I'm just saying it. All right, Jeremy, start it off, dude. Detroit.
Barry Sanders. Hands down.
Okay.
Greatest running back all time.
Second best.
give you
running back
that.
of all time.
No. I'll agree. Sanders first, Peyton second. Rav.
Which team is it? Is it the
Detroit.
Detroit? Oh, Barry Sanders. Without the question.
Marcus.
Look, I may not live to see Walter Payton play, but damn, I was lucky to see Barry Sanders play on my TV, the former 97 MVP of the NFL. A guy I felt like should have won a was lucky enough that they'd have had a better team, could have won a Super Bowl if they were lucky enough. Barry Sanders all the way. First time I played Pee Wee football, I was awarded number 20, and I thought I was fucking Barry Sanders playing Pee Wee football.
Adam.
Yeah, 2004 Hall of Fame induction, 10 Pro Bowls. Marcus already said that. 6 all pro first teams, rookie of the year, Barry Sanders.
Dylan. Sticking with Sanders.
20.
Josh.
Did you lose
Sanders.
your fucking voice or what? What's going on there?
Ken.
Yeah, not only is he not the best running back of all time, he's not the best Lion of all time. I'm going with Megatron.
See, that's the one where I was going. It's one of two. It had to be either Megatron or
It was
Sanders.
going to be Matt Stafford, but I went with Megatron. It should be
No.
Matt Stafford actually, but
There's
I'm
a
going
lot
to
of
go with Megatron.
there's a lot of people that have them as 1, 2, 3 in any order.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I was lucky to see the
But
Saints play Megatron in 2015 on a Monday night.
See, to me, Megatron is the greatest, second greatest receiver of all time. Behind, of course, Jerry Rice.
Well, that's Detroit for you, second best at everything all time.
Well, my number 3
Sorry,
always gets
JB.
me in trouble with people, though. My number 3 always gets me in trouble with people, so that's all right. It's
Who's your
Larry
number
Fitzgerald.
3? I want to.
Larry Fitzgerald
I like
is my number
Fitzy.
3.
Greatest hands I ever
Um,
saw, Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
The most underrated great receiver of all time. So now we got one team left, and this ought to be fun, especially for Jeremy and Ken. The Green Bay Packers. I'm going to start this one off. I went Brett Favre. So, yeah, mainly because I went Reggie White on the Eagles. Adam, who you got?
I got that. Let's see. Let me look at my notes.
Don't tell me you got that Steeler quarterback, or I'm going to reach through the internet wave.
Oh boy, I'm cooked.
yeah, you are.
90s All-Decade Team, 95 Offensive Player of the Year, 1 Super Bowl, 4 years.
Look
4
at the
years
stat,
led the
bro.
league in touchdowns. Brett Favre.
And Haas goes away. What's up with that?
Big Hoss with the sauce just became mucus.
Nah,
Okay, Haas, you're up.
look, I went with the guy who inspired me to love and watch this even more than anything. The first player I've loved don't play for the New Orleans Saints, Mr. Brett Favre himself.
Barbara.
Yeah, I figured that was where you were going.
Luckily, it was right there.
I have always been a Sterling Sharp fan, though. So that was up there with my mentions, but just because, it's my.
Look, it's even a Reebok jersey. Look at them hoes.
Yeah, look at them hoes. They're all on the corner.
Raph, who you got?
Look at that mesh. Look at that mesh.
You
Look at
got
that Reebok
the
mesh.
Packers, the greatest quarterback, I think, history in the NFL as far as a whole one team. Bart Starr, if you said it, fine. Aaron Rodgers, if you said it, fine. Brett Favre, if you said it, fine. But Reggie White, the greatest free agent in the history of the NFL. Top 5 player of all time, Reggie White.
Oh, yeah. All love for
Dylan?
Reggie White.
And he's a Packer because he won the Super Bowl.
Mr. Wrangler guy.
He went with Barbara.
Say again.
Mr. Wrangler guy.
Brett Barbara.
So we got Mr. Favre. Okay, Ken,
Yeah, I already said it with the Eagles. This is the Minister of Defense.
Reggie White.
Reggie
Josh,
White.
who you got?
I got QB1 Aaron Rodgers.
Adam, do something with this kid.
Adam, you
Jeremy,
failed
Well,
again.
I mean, he did have what 54,000 yards with the Packers, so it's hard. To
I don't know
fight
what's
that.
wrong with Aaron
Whatever.
Rodgers.
You
And,
failed.
and,
I don't-
and
I
in
don't
his
know. I
tenure-
mean,
Where
Aaron
would you like
Rodgers,
for me to start, Rav?
Aaron Rodgers went to the same amount of Super Bowls as Trent Dilfer.
And Rex
Favre.
Grossman.
Oh, gosh.
All right, Jeremy, who you got, buddy?
Bart Starr. I agree with my dad.
Okay.
It's Bart Starr. Won back-to-back Super Bowls with him. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I really honestly was thinking Ray Nitschke for a hot minute, but
That'd be a good pick, too.
And honestly, number 2 on my list would have been Jerry Kramer for the block in the ice bowl.
Yes.
yeah, this is another one, guys. I think we're going to go unanimous on this one. I think. Haas, I'm going to let you lead off with it. How about them fighting New Orleans Saints?
Well, can I do what Dylan did last week and let me pick the order and I'll go last for this one? I want to see if this goes across the board or not. So
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll let Dylan go first. Dylan, you go first. Who's your best New Orleans Saint of all time?
Drew Brees.
J-Man, who you got? Josh.
Oh, number 2 on my all-time QB list, Drew Brees.
Rav. Be on mute.
This is more than even Barry Sanders, not close. Drew Brees. No other answer.
Ken.
I mean, it's not Manning, the first quarterback ever. No, it's Cool Breeze.
Jeremy.
I guess I'm the oddball here because I'm going to say the fans for wearing the bags first.
I should have pulled the bag out. I should have got the bag ready. You've seen the bag. You've
I
seen
know.
the bag.
I know.
We did say player, you know.
Oh, yeah, player. Sorry. It's Drew Brees.
All right, Rich
Drew Brees.
and Adam.
I mean, is there anyone out other than that guy? That guy. I mean,
I'll take
Drew
Ricky
Brees.
I'll take Ricky Jackson, or I'll take
Deuce
take
McAllister.
Archie Manning. I'm not taking Reggie Bush. I'm not taking Joe Horn. I'm not taking Deuce McAllister. I mean, rest in peace, Will Smith, but I can't say Will Smith. I can't even
Damn,
say.
no.
I can't even
Willie
say.
Rowe.
Or
You could say
Willie
Willie
Rowe.
Rowe.
I'll take Willie Rowe too. He was one of the best linemen they had. But you got
I really like Willie Wolf and Sam Mills too. They were awesome players, but they're not. Come on, Drew Brees.
No, not Drew
Yeah,
Brees.
it's the guy that took a city and brought peace back to the city after one of the most devastating hurricanes. That's going to make its 20-year anniversary this year.
You're talking
And
about a
who brought
QB that
hope
made-
back. He's their Jesus. Like Drew Brees is like Jesus. They worship him. They literally worship the guy. Like they bow to his feet
Yeah.
when he walks down the French Quarter. He
Look-
brought that city back to life.
Look at
He
it this way.
changed the game and all them records he had. Too.
Look at it this way. He made Marcus Colston and Slant Boy Michael Thomas household names.
He made Jeremy Shockey a household name. He made Jimmy
Graham.
Graham a household
Jeremy
name.
Shockey was a household name in college.
Yeah.
He made Devery Henderson more relevant. Like he made all
No.
these amazing guys.
The first bit of relevance Devery Henderson had was, more than what he ever had. So
Now I don't.
but-
I'll go first for the next one. Whatever we do next, I'll take the first one since I didn't go first.
okay, because I think this one's going to be unanimous too.
What's that?
The Carolina Panthers.
Oh, I got
Marcus?
Steve Smith.
Oh, okay. Adam.
I'm with Marcus. I got Steve Smith. I know we could have went Luke Kirkley, but
I've
when
been
I think
pronouncing.
Panthers, I think Steve.
Wait,
I think Steve
I thought it was Keeley. I've been pronouncing his name Luke Keeley.
It's Keith.
Luke Kuechly.
Oh,
Listen,
wow.
everyone in the audience, everyone on the panel knows I butcher last name.
I could put your last name.
I'm going Cam Newton.
Oh,
Wait a minute. He was only good till he hurt his back, and after that, he was trash.
I'm
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure Cam Newton's the greatest Carolina Panther quarterback of all time.
Jake
Sure
Delhomme.
he is.
Jake Delhomme.
Ken, who you got?
I'm going with the guy who played for 2 teams in the NFC North, is now in the Hall of Fame. The Lovie Smith showed up at his door at promptly 12 o'clock in 1 second when free agency signed to sign him and bring him to Chicago. And that's just, you got some peppers in your step, baby.
Oh,
Julius Peppers.
Can't leave out Julius Peppers. No way.
Dylan, who you
He
got?
was a monster too. What was he? 6'9"?
He was a big boy.
6'6", 6'7", something like that.
Maybe one of the toughest wide receivers in NFL history, Steve Smith Sr. You forgot the senior.
It was just Steve Smith then.
Yeah, that's true. Rav?
All four names are great, but I'm kind of in line with Julius Peppers. I think he was the best player they had in the franchise. Edge rush. I underrated Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers was tremendous.
He was
Jeremy?
badass at Ole Miss. I'll give him that.
Steve Smith, hands down for me.
Josh?
Mister should have died for the ball. Cam Newton.
I'm shocked no one said Jake Delhomme.
I just said him over
Daylight
Cam
coming,
Newton.
you got the Delhomme, just doesn't,
Mhm.
All right, so this one should be fun. How about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Ooh,
This should also-
I'm going to
there's-
lead this one off.
good.
There's
Can I
two,
go for,
two names that
Yeah,
I got.
I'll
in
start
my head.
this one off. Warwick Dunn.
Let me go next.
Ken, who you got?
Never mind.
God, you can go A-Train. You can go Sap.
There's
You
a
can go so
bunch,
many-
yeah.
You can go so many places with this team. I'm gonna go with Sap.
Let me go next.
Okay. Pause, who you got?
I got one of the most meanest, toughest, and biggest trash talking sons of bitches they ever had, Derek Brooks.
Amen.
Derek Brooks, yeah.
Very good. Adam?
I got the best fullback in the game. One season, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Dude was just so fun to watch when he had the ball. Mike Allstott.
A-Train!
Rav?
I love that answer. I think he might be the greatest fullback of all time, actually. Not named Jim Brown. I cannot separate Sapp and Brooks. I'm gonna break the rule and say both names. I gotta say both.
Yeah, we
I
have our first code. We have our first
I
code
can't-
greatest, folks.
Can't
How you
separate
think I
Sapp and Brooks.
felt? Like,
I
was
say,
representing
Rav,
you
rules
well.
are meant to be broken.
Yeah, I can't. It's so close. It's too close for me. Sapp and
I'd
Brooks. And
I'd
one.
ask a coworker, I said, who should I pick? Derek Brooks or Warren Sapp? He said, bruh, Derek Brooks all the way. I said, okay, I'm going to do that.
Jeremy, what do you got?
Derek Brooks was a beast.
I can't believe no one
He
said
was.
this yet, but I'm going to the back end of the defense. Another safety that was a hard hitter and one of the best in the NFL, and now a current GM, John Lynch.
Dylan?
Yeah. Lynch is a good one, too.
Who am I going to slap because none of you guys got my guy? You're right in the secondary, Jeremy, but the right
Oh,
Ballboy twin, that'd be
Number
Rondé
20.
Ballboy.
oh,
Mr. Barber.
Oh, and by the
Rondé.
way, number 2, how come nobody said Mike Evans? Hasn't he gone over 1,000 yards for like 11 years?
He's up there, but he's not the greatest. Josh, who you got?
I got Mike Evans.
I think,
Well, there you go.
I wonder how many times Derek, in that time of the frame, Derek Brooks sacked Aaron Brooks back in the day when they would play the Saints. Quite
The
often.
The Bucks were kind of like the Commanders. They had so many players kind of at the same. Not those players like sent way up there, but they're all
Yeah.
kind of like a lot
How
of really.
How
good
did they
players.
only had one chance? I figured they'd had like 3 or 4 at least. They only had one.
you
One Super
forget.
Bowl.
I mean, could have you went Steve Young as a Buck? Sorry, Jerm.
Don't forget, this team set the record for most consecutive losses by any franchise at 26.
Yep.
Yeah, at the beginning, yep.
Are you sure the
we
Steelers
wrap
don't
up.
own that record?
The Steelers don't
Oh
own
my
that
All
record.
right, now.
Not even the
1933 to.
Not even
The
Yeah.
NFC South, we're going to wrap this one up with another one that I think is going to be pretty fun. The Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, the Falcons.
Josh, start this one off.
I have two choices, but I'm gonna go with Julio Jones.
Can't
Good
go wrong
choice.
with it.
Wait a minute.
Jeremy,
You're talking about the guy
yeah.
that gets in the red zone and becomes allergic to the end zone? Jesus. But anyways, you know, if he wouldn't have been in the dogfighting, I'd have been able to put him up there. But I got to go with the other guy that got him to a Super Bowl and lost the biggest lead ever, Matty Ice, Matt Ryan.
Ryan, okay. Rav, who you got?
Oh, he muted himself, right? What is he talking?
I'm muted. Deion Sanders was the greatest cornerback in the history of the NFL. I think of him as a Falcon where he started his career. Deion Sanders, number one.
Wasn't he the only player?
Dylan.
Wasn't he the only versatile player to hit a run one back and hit a home run in the same week?
Deion did it all on the field. He was fantastic. No question.
Atlanta is Julio's team.
Ken.
When Jeremy said Vic, I was thinking, you take the dogfighting piece out of it. You almost have to say Vic because Vic made Vic what you think of Atlanta, you thought of Vic, and vice versa. And he once again. If there's no Vic, there's no Lamar, there's no Fields, there's no all these guys who play or have run. There aren't any of those guys. So for me, it's Vic.
But there was a guy before him that I think was better, and that was Randall Cunningham. But that's another story.
I like Cunningham, but Vic changed everything. Like
Also,
he
you got,
just
man. Oh,
changed
sorry.
it all. No, go ahead.
Also, you got.
I went with everybody's favorite quarterback in Madden 04, Michael Vick. The guy had an overall rating of 97, and it was tough with that or even Tony Gonzalez, but I said Michael Vick.
Okay. Adam, who you got?
367 touchdowns, 59,735 yards. Matty Ice.
I'm going to really get some people fired up on this one.
Oh, boy.
Go
really
for it,
think I
Rich.
am.
You're allowed.
Oh no.
Morton Anderson.
You mean the guy that cost them another playoff chance to get to a Super Bowl?
You know, I almost want Jason Hansen rings a bell for the.
By the way, no, true story, Jeremy. Morton Anderson actually helped my Jackals get into the playoffs by missing last game of the year in '96, and then we ended up in the AFC title game.
I remember.
I was wanting to go Tony Gonzalez real bad, but he only spent 4 years in Atlanta, so I couldn't do it. So I ended up going Morton Anderson.
I'm glad you didn't pick Bill Goldberg.
No.
Thank God.
I could have gone Bill Fralick though. Another WrestleMania alum.
Probably a better Bill than Bill Goldberg.
WrestleMania 2 there, Bill Fralick.
Yeah,
it was
hit a
the
lump, Bill
Battle
Fralick,
Royal.
huh?
Hey, if it wasn't for Walter
Huh?
Payton, I would have probably said the fridge for the Bears.
Is it?
The
Isn't
that's
the
gonna be
Pitt
my-
Hall of Fame?
Fralick? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the NFC West is what we got left. Let's start off with this one. I think the whole division is going to be fun. But let's start off with the Los Angeles Rams. Now, you can also include the first incarnation of the Los Angeles Rams and the St. Louis Rams and the Chicago Rams and the Dodge Rams and
forget
the
Cleveland
Montana
Rams.
Mountain Rams. And okay, you with
We
me
were
on
saying
this?
we have more than one.
Don't forget
I'll go for
Cleveland Rams.
One pick,
That-
but you can
that
include all those teams.
Hey, that
So-
cherry's been busted. So yes, Ken, you can.
But I'm going to go ahead and Dylan, you haven't started one. Go ahead.
You know what? It's Alaris Reggie White, maybe the greatest interior defensive lineman of the 21st century. From Pitt, Aaron Donald.
Brav?
Oh, Marshall Falk. I think like there was nothing they ever had like Marshall Falk. Hard to pick him over Eric Dickerson, but Marshall Falk, the greatest Ram
The
of all time.
biggest trade in history. The Colts ended up with 2 picks for Marshall Falk. But they ended up getting a pretty good running back in the end because they're both in the Hall of Fame. Edgar and James.
Edgar and James, yeah.
From my neck of the woods.
Haas, who you got?
I also got my Louisiana brother, Marshall Falk, who's also related to Kevin Falk.
Adam?
So this man got a penalty created for his move, the head slap. He also created a stat that is well adapted now called sacks. Deacon Jones.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I always thought he was one of the coolest players ever. Watched him play when I was a kid. He was part of the death penalty at a college. He helped force a college to lose their football program. But Eric Dickerson, give me a big chunk of Eric Dickerson with the Rams. Honorable mention to our boy from Pitt, Aaron Donald. Ken.
So, as the Bears are making a historic run to the '85 Super Bowl, there was one guy that stood in their way until he came to the frozen field that used to be AstroTurf in Chicago. When they played that game, it was turf, hard turf at that. And I think he had no yards, negative yards, but he was the only guy who was going to bring the Bears down in the playoffs. And that defense stood up and stood him up, but that's Eric Dickerson. He's the only guy the Bears were ever scared of in that run. And coming to that game, the talk the whole week was, how do the Bears stop Dickerson? For no other game was there talk about how they're going to stop anybody. Just Dickerson. So, yeah, for me, it's Dickerson. And I'll give an honorable mention to Falk. I was in St. Louis for the greatest show on turf. Went to a lot of games that year, and he was something special. And he changed the running back position. But
He did.
he was like that sneaky kill you at that point. Like, you didn't know if he was running or catching, but Dickerson, you could be ready for him and he'd still run you over. Only one defense ever stopped him.
Yep. Josh, who you got?
I got Aaron Donald.
And Jeremy, who you got?
I got someone none of you said. And it's Jack Youngblood. That guy was the heart of that defense when he was there.
Played Super
That
Bowl
was another
14
one
with
of
a
my
broken
honorable
leg.
mentions, sure.
Yep.
Merlin Olsen was really good for them too. I'll just mention him. Like he was probably the corniest TV show of all time, Little Palace on the Prairie, when he was an actor. But I think the Fierce Enforcement,
Father Murphy.
yeah, it was corny as crap. But outstanding, total opposite what he was on the field. Meanest guy you ever saw.
Yeah. How about we jump to the mighty Northwest, the fighting Seattle Seahawks. Jeremy, lead us off.
Sean Alexander. One of the
Boy,
best.
another one, if he would have stayed healthy.
Yeah.
What if he would have won
Yeah,
a Super Bowl in your
I
stadium?
think that's a great pick, Jeremy. I really do. Rav?
Trying that for now, y'all not to hear the TV, so I'm unmuting myself. The first name I thought of was Steve Largent, and I gotta say Steve Largent. I think Steve Largent is probably maybe the most underrated receiver in the history of the NFL.
Hall of Famer.
Haas?
I also went with Steve Largent, a guy who got drafted to Houston but then ended up with Seattle in '76.
Adam?
Hall of Famer Steve Largent.
Dylan?
Steve Largent, number 80 in your program.
Josh?
I'm going with Bobby Wagner.
There you go. Ken?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Marshawn.
The only man who's registered seismic activity from playing the game of football. The only man who took a kid's treat and turned it into the treat of, Skittles. Look what the man did for Skittles. Come on, it's Marshall. And he's the best restaurant.
I'm going to go back to a little old school here. Same name as another Hall of Fame, as a Hall of Famer, different spelling. Running back Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
There were really good teams in the 80s they had. Never Super Bowl level, but good teams. Kurt Warner, yeah, that's a name.
Cortez Kennedy and all those guys, yeah.
Good running back, good college player too, yeah.
Even the 90s, 80s to 90s, they Seattle always had a good team. They could just never get there.
That good.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised I didn't hear Walter Jones.
He's another one that could have been considered, yeah.
No Russell either. I was ready for somebody to say Russell Wilson.
I guarantee you who it wouldn't have been. Okay, we got 2 left. Let's do the Arizona Cardinals next. Josh, lead us off, buddy.
This should be unanimous.
Let me go find. I don't know. Let me go find my notes real quick. Hold on. It is. Oh no.
Lacker.
Fitzgerald.
Don't worry, guys. I yelled at him backstage to tell him to do his
got it.
fucking homework next time.
Larry Fitzgerald. All right.
And stay awake for all the and stay awake for all the races.
This may actually be unanimous. I don't know. Ken, who you got?
Hold on, give me a
This
second.
should be.
All right, here's my answer. I'm going old school. I have reasons for this. Jim Hart.
Okay.
Now, he
Right,
played
I
for
got
them when they
you.
were in St. Louis. Now, here's the other part of my reason, besides the fact that he was the best player in that franchise for a long time. He also played high school ball with my dad.
Well, there you go.
So a little favoritism for the guy who played football with my dad as well. But no, Jim Hart, who was also, by the way, the sporting director of SIU when the Salukis kept making the NCAA Final Four year after year after year in the early 90s. So not only was he a winner on the football field, he was a good sports director at Southern Illinois University.
Nice. You guys know where I'm going. Number 11.
Larry.
Fitzgerald. Adam, who you got?
When he almost beat us for the Super Bowl win, I didn't feel bad. Like, I don't know, because it was Larry Fitzgerald. I remember watching it going, well, if we lose, we lost to an ex-Pitt guy, really good guy. I wouldn't have felt bad at all. I wouldn't. I would have felt bad we lost, but at the same time, how we lost, that was
if it would have been to a bunch of douche nozzles like the Cowboys, it would have been a whole different discussion. But, yeah.
I will note Fitz is my
I'm with you, Adam. I agree 100% with you, man. If we'd have lost to Fitz and Kurt Warner on top of that, as good a guy as Kurt Warner is, it'd been kind of tough. Dylan.
Yeah.
Who you got, man?
I still see Larry Fitzgerald running by the whole Steelers defense at Raymond James Stadium. It's Fitz. Maybe the best version of a professional wide receiver.
Jeremy?
I'm going to go with a guy that went in the Army and was killed by friendly fire, Pat Tillman.
Pat Tillman.
Yeah. Rav?
No, Rav liked that one.
Pat Tillman's cool, man. Shout out Pat Tillman. I'm gonna say another name. Aeneas Williams was a guy for so many years. I felt so bad. So he was really good for a lot of bad teams. But you gotta say Larry Fitzgerald. Greatest hands I ever saw on a football field, Larry Fitzgerald.
So you got, man?
I'm gonna close it out also with Larry Fitzgerald.
Very good. I saved what to me is the best out of the NFC for last, because I think it comes down to 2 guys and that's it. But let's see how it works. The San Francisco 49ers. Josh, who you got?
Can I go? Can I start it off with the greatest football player in NFL history? Number 80, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice. Josh, who you got?
I got Jerry Rice also.
Ken?
I'm gonna go with Montana.
Jeremy?
Love me some Jerry Rice, but I'll go with Montana.
I went Joe
Right,
Montana.
Pittsburgh
as well.
guy,
Rav?
Western Allegheny guy.
Jerry Rice, no matter what list we're doing, he's number one. Greatest football player ever. Jerry Rice, number one.
Haas?
The GOAT, Jerry Rice.
Adam?
I need some goat juice. Jerry Rice.
Didn't they also
What's
call
his,
him
what's his
World?
energy drink called? Goat Fuel.
Something like that.
When does
You guys got
also
some of
World?
you,
I don't
huh?
know. I thought they
Some
also
of
called
you
him
guys
like
have
Jerry.
it half right. Some of you guys got it half right. The greatest of all time, Joe Montana. Jerry Rice is second as far as an overall player. Joe Montana executed the West Coast offense created by one of the greatest coaches in the history of the game in Bill Walsh.
Let him finish.
He won 3 Super Bowls, never even panicked a drop, took 2 of them and won them in the last minute of the game. It's Joe Montana, hands down. Yes, sir. Dylan, what you got?
Yes, we all remember the Super Bowl when he's looking at celebrities and then throwing touch and then leading maybe the greatest drive in Super Bowl history. But Jerry Rice won MVP of that game.
Hey, you know what? Let me help Rich out. Jerry Rice, you may be cool, but you're not call your wife from the sideline cool like someone else is.
He just pushed 9 and dialed my home number and said hello.
Right.
Jerry Rice was better than Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Deion Sanders, anybody you want to name. Jerry Rice was the most dominant player on the football field ever in any era. Period.
There's arguments for who the greatest quarterback is. There's not an argument for who the greatest wide receiver is.
His records are
I
so
get that.
far away from everybody else in the wide receiver, even in the modern era. No question.
And by the way, Dylan, Montana won 3 Super Bowls, won the MVP in 3 Super Bowls.
4 Super Bowls.
Steve Young won the 4th one.
No, he didn't. Montana won Super Bowl 16 or 17 in Detroit.
He has 1 for each hand, remember? We all seen the commercial. He technically has 5. Everybody forgets that he had the catch by Dwight Clark to win a Super Bowl.
Young got the 5th one
NFC,
they got.
That was the NFC Championship.
That was the NFC Championship.
Well,
But they
however
still won
many
that
He won
Super Bowl that year.
16. He won 16, 19, and 24. Or I'm
23.
sorry,
and then however many
23.
Steve
24
Young
was
had.
Steve Young.
However
24
many
was
Steve
Young.
however many
Montana
Steve Young
won.
had.
No, Montana won Super Bowl 24 because that's when they dismantled the Broncos in New Orleans.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I was right on that.
Well, however many Steve Young got, he only won 1 as a starter. The rest he was a backup.
Well, yeah, he won 1 with the Niners, and remember at the end of the game, he had them walk over and take the big monkey off his back because everybody was giving him all kinds of crap because he couldn't get the job finished and that kind of deal because they lost to the Cowboys in the NFC Championship when the Cowboys were on that little run.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, and then they beat up the Chargers when they should have been playing the Steelers if Neil O'Donnell was worth anything.
That wasn't Neil O'Donnell. That was our defense fault.
Neil
Should've never
O'Donnell
got
had
beat.
Eric Green wide ass open in the end zone and couldn't
Couldn't matter.
hit
We
it.
shouldn't have got beat. We shouldn't have got beat on a deep ball with no timeline.
I
Neil
get that. The
O'Donnell
last play of
got
the
Larry
game-
Brown a lot of money.
The last play of the game,
yes,
you've
we
got a
did.
guy as big as the scoreboard standing in the end zone that's
Doesn't
wide
matter.
open.
Doesn't matter,
and you
Rich. The
can't hit
defense-
him.
The defense,
It's like a major league pitcher
defense
that
let
can't
go
throw
a
his
deep
strike.
ball with very little time left.
I get that, but championship quarterbacks come back from that. See Joe Montana. See Ben Roethlisberger. You had Fitzgerald made that huge touchdown play. Ben brings him right back down the field and hits Santonio Holmes on what's probably the greatest catch in Super Bowl history. Great quarterbacks do that stuff, which is why Neil O'Donnell is not in any way, shape, or form a great quarterback.
Rich, we talk to Cowboy fans, we might get a different story.
Well, that's
Oh, yeah.
true because if we talk to Larry Brown, he's his best friend.
Got him
Larry
paid.
Brown, he made Larry Brown $40 million. I mean, shoot.
Go ahead, Jerv.
I'm about to.
No,
roll off.
I was agreeing, Neil O'Donnell got Larry Brown paid so much it wasn't funny.
Yep.
Oh,
And
believe me,
didn't
us
do
in
it.
Pittsburgh know that for sure.
Larry Brown and James Washington made more money off of interceptions from Neil O'Donnell than they would have ever made otherwise.
Look,
I
but
think the only problem.
there's instances of people who we say are good or great quarterbacks where that's the case. Favre and all his interceptions, his won Super Bowls only because he had a good backup behind him, a man with 2 rings, Jim McMahon. I mean, you can make cases for quarterbacks, good, bad, or indifferent like that across the board. I mean, look how much money Favre made guys like Urlacher, who intercepted him more than anyone, it seemed. And they're just these guys. I mean, the quarterbacks, when you get the quarterbacks, there's only a few who you can say legit didn't make anyone famous because of their bad play. And sorry, but the number 1 guy in San Francisco is one of those guys.
Yeah. Montana didn't he never tried to put the ball where it didn't go. Brett Favre, guys like that had now Montana didn't have Favre's fastball either. But guys like Favre and guys like Rodgers and guys even like Randall Cunningham who had that fastball that they could really rip
Elway.
that thing. Yeah, Elway. They tried forcing it into spots that you've got a hole this big to throw it into, and if you're even a millimeter off, you're done. And a lot of times it didn't work, but a lot of times it did.
Also, he had Jerry Rice on his team. He had great receivers. He had John Taylor was a great receiver. I don't think Montana played with T.O.
Once he got Rice and Taylor, yes. You're not going to convince me that Freddie Solomon and Dwight Clark were great receivers.
No. You're right about that.
That's who he won the first Super Bowl with.
Look, Montana and Young would be on the top of a lot of these lists of a lot of these teams. So I'm not dissing them at all. But there's no such thing as better than Jerry Rice, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Sure there is.
Jeremy, what do you got, man?
So I lost it now. It's been too long. Started to speak up.
He was going to say Megatron's better than Jerry Rice. That's what he was
No,
going to say.
that isn't what I was going to say. One
That's where we
season
would
he
have
was,
him at.
but not one season he was, but not a career.
Now, could you put – okay, here's the way I look at those two guys because I have Megatron as number 2. If there is anybody that you could have a conversation about that with, it's Megatron. It's still Rice, but the only guy that you could even come close to having that conversation with is Megatron.
Because of the 100.
It's just like in the NBA.
Here set the record.
Yeah, it's just like in the NBA. You know, you've got the guy. There's a pretty decent sized gap between the guy, and we know who the guy is, and number 2. Whoever your number 2 is, whether it's LeBron, Kobe, Kareem, whoever it is, there's a pretty good gap between 1, who is MJ, and 2. Same thing in hockey. I don't care what anybody says about Ovechkin. Gretzky is still the best of all time, and everybody else is playing for second.
But other than that last year that Aaron Rodgers had there before he went on to New York and then fell apart and just a few more plays than Abraham Lincoln was shot in. But he had 105 touchdowns and 5 interceptions for his career in regular season at that point. That's unheard of.
Right.
Unheard of. You're right, Jeremy. That's absolutely unheard of.
Just looked at my list I had I had Jerry Rice 1, Larry Fitzgerald 2, T.O., Randy Moss, and Tim Brown. I want
I
to say
love-
Tim Brown. I think Tim Brown was very underrated as a receiver. Very good for a long time.
I agree with you. I love that you have Tim Brown and T.O. Tim Brown was just, Tim Brown, he just did it. Like, he wasn't in the media. He just went out there and he just put up numbers with teams that were sometimes good, sometimes and he just did it. And then T.O., people just think about get your popcorn ready and all the hijinks. But, dude, remember, his Super Bowl year with Philly, broken leg, comes back from the broken leg for the Super Bowl and still performs. I mean, T.O., there's a reason why you couldn't deny him the Hall of Fame. I mean, those guys, are they at Rice level? No. Could they have been given different situations? Maybe, possibly. I don't know. But I love that you have Tim Brown, especially because he gets forgotten.
And Tim Brown was, I know Dylan wants to talk, but Tim Brown was kind of like what Mike Evans is now. Like over and over and over and over and over and over with the 1,000-yard seasons over and over.
Yeah.
Dylan wants to say something.
Except Evans doesn't return kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Brown
yeah.
did.
I want to ask three people. Big Rich, what the heck were the Pirates doing pulling Paul schemes when he was at Seppi pitches on Sunday?
Allowing him to be ready for Tuesday.
Josh, I don't know about you, but I think the FIA screwed us with that 10-second bull crap penalty on Sunday.
That's what I said yesterday on Rich's show.
There should have been 5 at most. And you know how much of a Orlando fan I am. I love
British bias, am I right?
And Adam, you want to draft afterwards? So that you want to draft afterward?
No, but Dylan, I think me and Rich are gonna do one with you. We just don't know when.
Yeah, just gotta.
So don't burn all your money, all right? Don't burn all your money. We're gonna do
I'm
one.
going to draft tomorrow night, and we're going to win $2 million. Hopefully.
I do have a little tidbit that I read earlier, and it has to do with our favorite quarterback to talk about on the Browns, Shedeur Suzuki Sanders. He's actually eligible to be picked up and moved to the CFL according to the arbitrary agreement. He's the first quarterback that was drafted in the NFL this last season that they could do that, which means he would go to the Toronto Argonauts.
Wait. How'd this all happen to begin with?
It was there's a rule on day 3, the first quarterback taken can be taken by the worst team in the CFL, and the NFL can't do anything to stop it.
Go.
Can the player?
Guys,
no.
I'm going to head out. Spunky Spectrum Sports Big D podcast. If anybody wants to check out the Big D birthday bash tomorrow night, I'll be on maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock.
I got my son's birthday Thursday. Happy birthday, Dylan.
Happy
How old
birthday.
How old are you turning, Josh?
Why
No,
not me?
Josh Myers, my other skipper.
Oh, never mind.
He's gonna be 10.
Oh, really? Wow. I haven't seen
Yeah, remember
him
to text him
in a
on Thursday, Josh.
while. He never opens my text, so I will.
He's gonna be 47, Dylan.
33, homie.
33. All right.
Forever young.
That's me with the 47 there, Rich. You're getting me and
That's
him
all right.
confused.
I got a few more than that coming in about 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So I got a few more than that.
3 months. 3 months from tomorrow, I turn the big 5-5.
Nice.
I'll be 54 August 3rd.
I'll be
But
53 in November.
In 2 days,
Wait a minute. Wait. So I'm only a year off of being the senior citizen of this bunch?
yeah,
I'm 40. I'll be 40. I'll
How
be
is that?
40. How old will I be?
Oh
I'll be
my.
48.
Me and my son are the youngest on this panel. That's
Oh
crazy.
my. I feel like a baby compared to you guys.
That's okay. I'm the only one who's
You
retired.
are.
anyway,
I'm the only one who's fully retired, so there you go.
in 2 days,
I think Adam looks the youngest outside of Josh. Obviously, I thought Adam was like in his 20, like all the time. It's like, what the hell? How does he know all this stuff from old school? Like, he said, oh yeah, he's like 40 something.
Take off the hat. Show him the hat.
That's what he did. He showed me.
No,
it's
it's a big flake right now, dude. Like, I got totally burned over the weekend.
All you
But anyway,
Sounds like a personal problem to me, there, dude.
Anyway, in 2 days, Smoking Dad turns 76.
Damn, happy
Very
birthday,
good.
Dad.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We play the music for you, but we don't have it.
I'll have
My grandson turns 4 at the end of the month, so we'll have to have him pop on at some point before then. So
I'm not in that one yet. You got me there. I don't have
Grandparent time is the best time.
he's
I'm
4
grandparent
going
daycare
on
Monday through Friday.
14.
Yeah, you get to get them all sugared up and send them home.
My
That little
granddaughter,
turkey bird, man.
my
My
granddaughter,
oldest daughter, she's only 18, so I don't have we don't have that one yet.
We got the
Well,
one
our
grandparent.
Our oldest turned 25 in September. So
Oh yeah,
26 in September. Sorry,
my
our oldest
granddaughter-
turned 26 in September, and then 24 for the youngest in August.
Does anyone else have their kids' birthdays all on the 10th of the month they were born?
But my granddaughter turns 4 in November.
Grandkids
That seems
are the
like
best.
Forever young.
Yeah, my grandson starts the parade of holidays around our family. It just follows one after the next. You got his birthday, my birthday, my mother-in-law's, or our youngest two's birthdays. My mother-in-law's birthday, and it just all the way into January with my son-in-law, and then our anniversary is in March. It kind of sits off by itself. So.
But a long ways back, my dad said that I knew which guy that he said was the greatest backup quarterback all time, and it was the same quarterback that took 2 different teams as a backup to the Super Bowl to get sat down for the starter, and that's Earl Morrell.
Earl Morrell.
Baltimore Colts, brother.
And then on to
And the Dolphins.
the Miami Dolphins.
That's right.
The undefeated
Yep.
season when Greasy.
That's the Kyle Orton story, right? His rookie year in Chicago, wins 10 games, gets the Bears to the playoffs. They send him for Rex Grossman. Rex goes in, 1 and done.
Kyle, don't call me Randy Orton.
You know what's funny about Orton? He got no votes for Rookie of the Year that year. Offensive Rookie of the Year got no votes, but he won 10 games as a rookie starter at the time. That was kind of unheard of for a rookie starter to win 10 games. And here comes Orton, very unassuming, does it. They bring Rex Grossman back in, and that was. I bet there are people to this day who debate that if Orton had started instead of Grossman, the Bears may have won the Super Bowl that year.
And who they bring in after that? You're leaving that part out after
After
Gross.
Sexy Rexy,
Yeah.
Jay Butler.
we traded for Cutler. We traded Orton for Cutler because then Rexy was gone. Then we made Orton a starter, and then we traded Orton for Cutler.
Right. Then after that, you got Mitch Trubisky.
There's a waste of prime natural resources for you.
Then it was Bustin Fields, and now we're on Caleb Williams.
Fields might, Fields said this could be a season. He might turn that career around up there. I mean, not that he's had bad numbers in the 2 places he's been, but don't be surprised if Fields becomes like the guy in New York.
Yeah, but,
To do what? Play football?
the thing,
All right.
the thing that I
The
think
one thing
ruins-
that got me, Ken, about Trubisky, going back to that for a second,
Yeah,
the Bears gave away all that stuff
yeah.
to get up to 2, and you're thinking, okay, they're going to get Mahomes, they're going to get whoever, and they take Trubisky.
We're gonna get Watson. Yeah,
When
yeah.
they
I mean, I remember the
like-
pick. Everyone's like, "Who?" And really, his rookie
like
year, he
25.
wasn't bad. I mean, he wasn't bad his rookie year. Then some injuries and some bad coaching happened, and now he's just a super backup for the Bills. I mean, Trubisky showed signs that first year that, well, maybe they knew what they were doing. And then after a couple of injuries, he wasn't the same after the injury and thumb injury, and that's how it goes in the NFL.
But at the same time, I think the thing that ruined Mitch Trubisky the most was that birthday party when Dwayne Haskins got killed.
Yep, that too.
Because he was hosting the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another first round pick I forgot about. Like we never did find out about Dwayne Haskins. He struggled. He kind of fell out of favor in Washington, and he never even got a chance to rebound. Then he
Right.
wasn't he in Philadelphia? Wasn't he in Pittsburgh?
He was in Pittsburgh, yes, because that's when they signed Mitch Trubisky to be the backup, and they brought him in from the foreskins and was training him to be that guy, and he was supposed to compete with Mitch Trubisky as the backup that year, and he threw that birthday party where Dwayne Haskins' wife drugged him.
Yeah.
We don't know. That's alleged.
No, it. She got arrested and convicted.
Well, for the sake of our stream, it's alleged. We're not going to.
She's
Well,
convicted.
I understand.
yeah, she's
I heard
convicted, so it's not alleged anymore.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
convicted.
you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like saying Ted Bundy allegedly killed it. No, sorry. Speaking of Dwayne's that you're not real sure what happened to that had a really promising future when they came out. Remember when Dwayne Bowe got drafted?
Yes.
And everybody thought that he was going to be an absolute monster
Yes.
and did absolutely zero in Kansas City.
Well,
I mean, that's what I love about the draft, though. The draft is like, you know, you want to be good at the draft. This is what you do: go to Vegas and just bet on either red or black.
But the reason that Dwayne Bowe fell apart the way he did was when Alex Smith hung him out to dry and that safety wrecked his knee. He was never the same after that because he was on his way to a great season that first year.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been every year, you know, I hate, you know, I'm already seeing, because this is the time of year where we're in the clickbait season. You know, the couple weeks before camp, there's not really any OTAs. There's not really anything much going on. So you got all the clickbait. They're already doing, here are the guys who are going to be busts from last year's drafts. Like, guys, they have 1 year under the belt, all in differing situations. You know, what's his name that the Vikings took?
J.J. McCarthy.
No, not the defensive end.
Oh man.
I don't have a clue.
2 years ago, defensive end.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank too.
Yeah,
But they're like, oh, he's a bust. Why? He's in a deep lineup. He still plays. He's effective. Oh, Roma Dunze is a bust. Well, how's he going to be a bust in that? I mean, he had a solid rookie year. It wasn't like blow the doors off. It was solid. I think it's funny when people were in that, you know, these people are busts and, you know, you got to wait 3 years on these guys. And there are so many guys who come out with so much hype out of the draft because the draft is such a hype machine that they can never live to the hype. It's like waiting for Phantom Menace to come out. It never.
Well, if Adunze had a decent quarterback thrown to him, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I said the same thing. If you didn't have Caleb Williams thrown to him, he'd have been better.
Yeah. If they had an offensive line, but that we'll see what happens this year with the O line.
Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good one, JB.
See you
See you in
later,
the morning. But I mean, it's just like with the draft. It's like you got to wait 3 years. You got to wait 3 years.
We had in Baltimore, I saw this. Kyle Hamilton kind of struggled his first training camp. He got beat in the game. He got beat in coverage a couple times. And they were yelling, he's a bust. We get him out of here. This guy can't. It's like, God, like he just got drafted. It's his first training camp. And obviously, Hamilton might be the best safety in the league right now. One of them.
I'm glad I didn't hear that stuff.
People just get too crazy at times about training camp and all that. So,
No,
Well,
you're
not
right.
clickbait time. So it's like, you know, Ben Johnson hates Swift. Says who?
that's going to be his best friend.
Some writer who needs someone clicks to make his quota for the day. I mean,
How many offensive coaches have the Bears ever had?
well, that's
Besides-
no. That's
I don't
been
think
the
they've ever
problem.
had two.
No, Ditka was the last one because Lovie Smith was head coach. He had great defenses. He never had his best offense was the 15th ranked offense in the league, and that was the year they went to the Super Bowl and ruined Rex Grossman's career.
And Matt Nagy.
Nagy, yeah, but Nagy, the problem with Nagy was he was good for the 1 year with Trubisky, but then like he just thought, well, I can just do the same thing all the time, and everyone had the book on him, and that's why he's back to being an OC. He didn't change. Nagy didn't adapt. He was 1 year really good, and then he failed to adapt as a head coach. That's why he lost his job.
I think Nagy actually might wind up at some point taking the place of Andy Reid in Kansas
Yes.
City whenever Reid does retire.
They might be grooming him or Spags, but I mean, but look at KC's offense. It's nothing to shout about, and he's calling the plays.
Yeah, and I don't see Andy Reid going maybe, but 2 more years maybe.
I don't know if
Reid,
Pete Carroll's coming back, so you never know. You might want to stick around a little longer now.
Reid's not going anywhere as long as Mahomes is there rolling the way he is. The only the thing with him is he's actually had medical issues, so I think that could be a thing where he can't. Where I think the same thing in John Harbaugh in Baltimore. As long as Lamar's there, he's not going anywhere. He's not going to retire.
Oh, there's a big difference. Yeah, but Rav, there's a big difference. I mean, Andy Reid's 67. John Harbaugh is in his 50s, if I remember.
John Harbaugh is 61 or 62.
John Harbaugh is 62. He's 5 years younger than Andy Reid. John Harbaugh looks 52. Andy Reid looks 67.
Yeah.
And then you got Pete Carroll at 72, and he's walking around like he's 60.
I think he's younger than that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, people are going to sleep on the Raiders, and they're going to play better than you think. I'm not saying they're going to contend for the title or anything like that.
They had a lot of injuries.
But Pete Carroll is going to get good play out of it.
Cam Miller, baby.
Well, Raiders aren't terrible. Raiders aren't terrible. They're just in a tough division, I think.
Well, it's also they had a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball that really, really hurt them big last year. And now they got guys back, hopefully healthy. I mean, they're going to be competitive in that division. They look at that. AFC West used to be the best division of football at one point, and it's dipped, and it's making a comeback. They might argue for being the best division in the AFC. They might have an argument to pick with the AFC North. I think right now it's the North, but don't sleep on the AFC West. All 4 of those teams, great coaches, great rosters. The Raiders may be the weakest of that group, but don't sleep on them.
I think the West is the best division right now, and AFC West.
And boy, I tell you what, man, I hope Bo Nix improves off of last year, because if Bo Nix improves off of last year, Denver's a playoff team.
Last year's rookie class of quarterback is just insane, because all 5 of those guys who are starting, we'll see if it's going to be Penix or not. I guess it is, but you look at Jaden, you look at Caleb, both of those guys. If they take steps forward, it's gonna be fun watching those two go at it every year. Look at the Bears' big problem was like the second worst or worst offensive line in the league. Now they're ranked the 6th best or something. They went from the second least amount spent on the O-line to the 6th most in the offseason. If they corrected that, who knows what kind of year Caleb and Rome and those guys are going to have. But watching that rookie class from last year in general at the quarterback position, what a great rookie class.
They got a great quarterback. They got also, you talk about Denver, they got Sean Payton there. So you're not worried about that. McCarthy, I'm not a fan of his, but look, he's got everything around him. He's got a good offensive coach. So the Penix is the one I'm the most worried about. I don't think much for Raheem Morris at all as a head coach.
The big thing that concerns me about McCarthy is he came out of a run-first collegiate program. And that Minnesota offense is not run first by any stretch.
No,
and especially when you got receivers like he's got. You're dropping into having Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and TJ Hawkinson, which should be absolute gold for him if he can capitalize.
Hawkinson's the guy is going to be his guy, because who was his guy when they won the national championship? It was Loveland. Right? I mean, he loves the tight end. So, I mean, now the adjustment's going to be like, okay, you got to put the ball 40 yards downfield because these two guys will get it. But it's like the same thing last year with Darnold. Channel your inner Kyle Orton, manage the game. You don't have to be flashy. Just go out there and play, put the ball where it's supposed to be, and you're going to win 10 games.
Yeah. It's true. Well, guys, I got a boogie, man. Adam, you gonna be okay shutting this thing down?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I got a boogie too, guys. 6 o'clock comes. 6:15 comes early.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Still adjusting to this new schedule. You know, some of us ain't like Ken down there. Just get to sleep in till,
Hey, I gotta
noon.
be up every day at 9 to do the morning show at 10. So I gotta be up. early.
Oh! You just got to throw on a sweatshirt and go downstairs. Oh.
Don't even have to do that. I just roll out of bed and walk over to the man cave. You kidding?
Very nice.
So every morning, Ken, you have a show where?
Yeah, at Ken the Bear Fan on X, at Ken the Bear Fan on YouTube, on Roku, and Fire TV at the Huddle Sports Network app. Also, if you're on Facebook at Mike the Bear Fan, the Huddle Sports Network on there. We're on Apple, Spotify, and some other voice one I can't remember. Yeah, we got a few places, but X is we're the easiest probably to find me because everyone seems to be on X these days. So every morning, 10 a.m. Central, we talk football. Yeah,
Josh,
it's hard. I gotta wake up early, you know.
anywhere to find you, Josh? Have you got your Twitter up yet?
Nah, not yet.
You need to get one, boy.
I know.
Raph, how people get you?
So definitely check us out, Ravery Sports on Twitter, Ravery Sports on Spotify now also as well. So you can check us out there. This week podcast we're gonna do top 10 offensive tackles in the NFL. Ravens schedule prediction. We're gonna do that as well. High school, which are the best players in high school coming up in the MLB draft. Sunday also, we're going to have our baseball stream. So we're going to talk about the Orioles and the Marlins game, and we're going to talk about the MLB draft that night. We're going to do that. And interview this week is going to be on Driving to the Top as well. Professor Brooks is going to talk about media, sports media in the Negro Leagues baseball. So we're going to talk about that there.
Hey, isn't it interesting though with baseball and hockey? Are they the only two that draft right out of high school?
NBA doesn't do it anymore. They did.
The days of Sean Kemp and all that. Nowadays, you have to do at least 1 year in college. I think is the rule.
I think it's 1 year. I think you have to do at least 1 year in college.
You can go straight out, but they've got a waiver in there that if you go straight out, you completely wait. You can't go back to college.
I thought the NBA had a rule though. You had to do at least 1 year. I thought they made so you couldn't come out.
You have to go to the G League. I think you can. Yeah. I don't think you can play in the NBA actually.
You can't go straight from high school to the NBA. You have to either go to college or G League.
Some might go international or whatever.
Yeah. And it's funny because like with hockey and baseball, they go, you know, I mean, hockey's the funniest, not to veer off, but that's what I always thought funny about hockey, because hockey, they'll draft the kid. The first round pick's 18. The whole first round, they're 18, right? And then either, like, maybe the top 3 or 4 might get to the NHL, and the rest go to college or junior hockey. So it's funny, like, you get a bunch of guys who get drafted, and then they're like, oh, yeah, he's playing for Boston College next year. And that was the number 5 pick. Hey, the number 6 pick, oh, yeah, he's playing for Boston College, too. I always thought that was kind of funny about the way hockey and baseball draft out of high school and no one else does.
Mm.
The NBA rule is players must be 19 years old during the calendar year of the draft, 1 year removed from high school graduation or the expected graduation of their class.
Oh, for those who drop out, yeah.
So if they drop out at, say, 17,
right,
have to be 1 year removed. So in essence, 3 years from that.
So go to the G League dropouts.
I think that's the next thing too, where guys are going to start getting, if they're paying college, they're going to start paying high school next. That's a whole nother thing.
They already do have a high school NIL. A kid that my son runs track with, sponsored by Nike. He was sponsored as a freshman, had an NIL deal as a high school freshman.
Crazy.
You're kidding me.
Nope.
That's crazy.
He's number 1 as a freshman. He was number 1 in the country at his event. And he got signed by Nike, and as a high school freshman, signed by Nike. And now he's going to he just transferred from high school here, so he'll be a junior next year. He's going to some high school, I think, in Tennessee. It's kind of like the the high school they have here in Tampa for football that everyone talks about, EIT or whatever the heck that name of that school is. Well, there's one in Tennessee. It's just for track, for all these like the best track athletes in the country, and he's going there next year, and he's sponsored by Nike. Yeah, it's
Wow.
ridiculous. Yeah, as a high school student, NIL, unreal.
All right. So just to let everyone know, the Pirates won 6 in a row, and now we're on the verge of losing 6 in a row tomorrow. We lost tonight again. So we're 0-5 in our last 5, 6-0 in the time before. So the winning streak didn't mean shit.
Come on, I'm predicting we go about 500.
Anyway, you can give me that Sports Talking It on Twitter. Driving to the Top on Twitter. Obviously, the YouTube channel, guys, best place to get us when we're live so we can see the comments. So hit that like, subscribe button, Driving to the Top Productions. And yeah, Rich, close it out. Let's get out of here.
All right, yeah, you can get me on Twitter at BigRich8371 or on Facebook, just my name, Rich Richardson. You can get me with Captain Negativity over here tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, as we do Steel City Sports Talk. We'll talk Pirates, we'll talk Steelers, we'll probably talk All-Star Game and different
Look,
things
I was
like that.
excited.
You never know
all
where we're
right?
going.
I was excited, all right? I was excited to go in 6-0. But I also said we're going on the road and we might not win a damn game.
And I told you that was going to be a tough road stretch. We talked about it on the show last week. But, you know, I mean, you go to Seattle, Kansas City, and Minnesota. That's a tough stretch. I told you I would be content at 3-6. We may not get that far. But, you know, definitely check us out at all the shows. All the shows these guys do, all the shows that we have on the network. Check us out, like, and subscribe to all of us. You can either catch us on our individual pages or on Driving to the Top. Routed over the Driving to the Top, though. And guys, appreciate everything. We'll come up with something creative for next Tuesday night's open mic. And we appreciate everybody submitting their questions and comments and being a part of the broadcast tonight. Until next Tuesday night, excuse me. It's been open mic night for Driving to the Top Productions. So long, everybody.
Bear down.